Shalom. First and foremost, giving all of the praises to the Most High and His Son,
Yahawah,
and as you should know, we're the Israelites coming out here to preach this ministry to those that are among us that are the elect, okay, of the house of Israel. And as usual, what we do is we prophesy to you the scriptures as to what's going to happen. So speaking of prophesying, what we're going to do is we're going to get a Sirach 18, verse 1.
Okay, this is Sirach 18, verse 1. He that liveth forever created all things in general. And the Lord Yahawashi only is righteous.
Yep.
And there is none other but he who governeth the world with the palm of his hand.
Right, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand. And there's so many ways that he governs the world. And mainly I want to deal with men that he have set up, you know, on this earth that he created. And Esau being the nation that he have created. And, you know, like a lot of Christians and just people that have a misunderstanding of what the will of the Lord is. A lot of people have a misunderstanding, of course. They're not of the elect and they weren't given the ministry, the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. But what we know is in this age and time, Esau was given the go-ahead to rule right now. And the will of the Lord in this time is to cause evil, to cause catastrophes and travesties around this place because of what? The sins that were committed concerning men. So what the Lord is going to do, the Lord is going to repay mainly the Edomites and also the 2/3 of his own people. So we're in an age of judgment because he put a people of war into a position of power for the great and dreadful day, which is upon us. Okay? So that's what the will of the Lord is in this age and time. Anyway, let's go ahead and read.
Who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will.
Right, and all things obey his will, because everything is in his spirit. You have, like I keep talking about, you have the spirits on the right-hand side, and you have the spirits on the left-hand side, even in the physical realm. We happen to be the spirits on the right-hand side, the Israelites. Okay, and then you have the Edomites, two opposing nations, which were born and happen to be separated from one another. So you have the so-called Negro and the so-called Edomites. I mean, so-called white people, all right? And they were basically brothers in the womb, but they became separate. But we'll get into that later on. So anyway, let's read this.
Okay.
When he told me he was engaged, I remember saying,
by his power dividing holy things among them from profane.
Right, so by the time he was able to divide, the holy things from the profane. And we are the things that I want to get into. Now, obviously, things in nature, you have holy things and you have unholy things. But I want to deal with mankind because we are his vessels. And you have vessels of honor and vessels unto dishonor. So let's go and get that, bro. Romans the 9th chapter. And you know what, too, before you... Actually, no, read what you got. Read that.
Continue on what I was...
Yeah, Romans 9. You can read Romans 9.
Romans... To what? Romans 9. Get straight to... You want to get straight to the point?
Yep.
This is Romans 9 and 22. Have not the potter power over the clay, of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor, and another unto dishonor.
And another unto dishonor. Go on.
What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering?
Right, endured with much long suffering. So he's going to show his power, bringing his son back, sending his son back, Yahawashi, and he's going to pretty much show the wrath of himself towards the vessels of his honor, which happen to be the Edomites, okay, which are red-fleshed. They call themselves the color white, but they're really red flesh. Going back to the Hebrew word Adawamya, which means Edom. Okay, so let's back up a bit and let's read up a verse.
Therefore, have he mercy on whom he will have mercy.
No, go up a verse, brother.
Verse 17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh.
No, the vessels of honor and the vessels of dishonor.
So like verse 22. What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, And that he might make known the riches of his glory
Yeah.
on the vessels of mercy.
And of the vessels of mercy. Who are the vessels of mercy? The Israelites, which happen to be today the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and Native American Indians. They are the vessels of the Lord's mercy. All right? And that's who he's going to show mercy to when it's all said and done. And he's doing it right now. Just look at all of the men across the earth teaching this ministry, being revived once again. Okay, they were once dead, but now they came back alive through the ministry, through the gospel that was taught. So the Lord is showing mercy upon his elect. And the mercy is going to trickle down to the majority of the nation. But it just will begin with the elect. Go on, brother, let's read this.
Which he had afore prepared unto glory.
Yes. And who did he have for the prepared for glory? The Israelites. Which will be the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is going to be the glory for the nation of Israel. More so the men. Hence it's called the kingdom of heaven. So in a kingdom you have kings. Just like during the time of King Solomon, during the time of King David. We were kings at the time, and then we were kings even in ruling here in Europe at one time. But we fell due to the prophecy, Revelations the 20th chapter. All right? We ruled for 1,000 years, and then they came back into power again, and that dragon came alive, which is which represents the Roman Empire, which we're in right now. But that dragon will be loosed in little season. And as I said, on Thursday when we was out here, when you really actually analyze Esau's time of rulership, it was really under 250 years. Because during the time when Esau was coming up, around the 13 and onwards, the other couple of centuries, they were conquering, trying to get up in the power seat, but they were pretty much situated in the late 1700s, the 18th century. All right? So from that point on, we're talking about, and I'm really mainly referring to the time of 1776. So when you do the math, that's like under 250 years, which is 6 days, which the brother was going into the time period of the Lord. The brother, Abu Bakr, if I'm saying his name correctly, was going into that. So really, when you really do the math, 1,000, 1 day to the Lord is 1,000 years to us.
Yeah.
So if you do the math, that's what 6 hours, 6 hours that Esau's been ruling. So that's the short period of time. That's the beast being loose in little season. And we're at the end of his little season. Go on, brother, let's read that.
Even us. This is verse 24.
Yeah.
Even us, whom he hath called, not the Jews only.